Thank you very much for the opportunity to present. I really appreciate being here. So today, as I said, I'm going to talk about this augmented reality model that we created at Chapel Hill with the help of Dr. Tim Farrell. So for an introduction first, I have no disclosures. In terms of surgical knot tying, I think this is one of the fundamental elements of a medical school or medical student going through their clerkship. So every year we have thousands of students that learn medical and surgical management of different diseases, but also this milestone where they learn how to do a one-hand tie or a two-hand tie. The traditional model for teaching this is having one teacher, such as a resident or an attending, per small group of students, typically 4, 5, 6 medical students. And really the challenge is that we need to develop this skill through practice, hundreds of times of repetition, and feedback. And feedback is directly given by the teacher. The problem is that teachers are not readily available. It's very difficult to find an attending that spends more than an hour or a resident that has more than an hour. So simulation might be a way to bridge this gap. And we have different technologies, virtual reality, augmented reality. We really like augmented reality because it's the concept where we can see the environment that we're in, and then we can add a layer such as a hologram of data, of information, that can give something else that's not seen in the real life. So our goal was to create an augmented reality system that did 3 things. 1, faithfully recognize and track hand motion. 2, that it provides an overlay of a teacher performing a desired surgical skill. And 3, that it provides feedback based on the appropriate hand positioning that's required to complete that skill. So that's what I'm showing now. This is what's seen through a Microsoft HoloLens 2 device. So you can see my hands there. And in light blue, you can see an overlay of the hands and how it tracks really accurately. Same thing if I'm doing a two-hand knot tie in one of the traditional kits. You can see that in light blue, you see what the system is reading as my hand, finger, and joint positioning, and it's very faithful, and it looks even better when you have this helmet on. So again, just showing a straightforward two-handed knot tie. Another advantage is something else that we did is that we can record these videos. So we can actually take this, we select from a list, a two-hand knot tie, the student can select replay, and now this is what the student is seeing, and we use a different color in orange. So in orange, they see the hands of the pre-recorded 3-dimensional video of the teacher. We have our user interface with a button on the left that can be pressed for going more slowly. The idea is that when the student is first starting, you want to be able to maneuver more slowly and really copy those positions and the motions of the hand until you get the movement just right. And then when we go on the right-hand side button, it can go faster. You can do a 2x or even faster, so the student can practice and do more repetitions in the same amount of time. We also have a system where we have a slider that you can see, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's much like a slider from any video player. So you can move forward in this pre-recorded video, or you can go back in this pre-recorded video. And then it allows the student to really focus on whatever area they want to practice the most. Now, because the hands are already busy during hand tie, we incorporated voice commands, so we can say pause. The video pauses, the student can adjust their hands, we can say play, it keeps playing, and we can also control the commands for speed. So we can say slow, and the video slows down, or we can say fast, and the video goes faster again. This is what the student would see. So we have, for example, with a pre-recorded video in orange, this is the teacher doing a two-handed knot tie, and this is the student following that video. So you'll notice that the orange hands move first, and then the blue hands, or the hands in real life, are moving a little bit slower and following those motions to really follow and track and be able to do that knot tie. Another feature we have is that we can actually record specific moments that the teacher thinks are important for teaching this skill. So for example, here there's a flash of yellow. Every time we say mark, or the teacher is recording specific mark spots, so these will be accessible later, so the student can replicate them. And what this really gives is a really broad platform, so anyone can record these, and so there's not just the way I tie knots, anyone can decide. The student, again, here is selecting this. They hit replay, and you see a similar user interface. Now with some added markers, so every yellow here is a marker of that position that was pre-recorded, and right underneath the hand position. And this is the third feature of our system, the feedback. So we see in green fingers that are in the right position. We see in red fingers that are not yet in the right position. The student has time to adjust the position of fingers and joints, and based on that, they can achieve the correct pose, and they can move on to the next marker. So they move their hands, they follow the teacher, they get to the next marker, and we see again green, red, and when they hold the position for a second, a flash of white, the student hears a ding sound, and then they know that they can proceed with the next set of motions. So again, this really allows the student to stop at each of those key moments. And again, we make it here to the marker, and we can use, again, voice commands. So we can say next. And so, for example, we'll go from 18 to 24 seconds. And the student can, again, say next if they think it's the next motion that they need. And I think even more important, the same can be used in going back. So if the student really wants to practice, again, something they didn't quite get, they can say back, and the marker is going to go back to the previous one. And again, they can adjust that and tailor it to whatever area, whatever portion they want to keep repeating until, again, they get it just right. So in terms of the challenges of this project, the limitation that you may have noticed is that our hands that I'm showing you for the teacher in the pre-recorded video, we don't actually have a recording of a rope. And so that's definitely a limitation, something we've been working on for the past several months, because we think that showing that simulated rope would really improve the simulation. In terms of the skill acquisition, we really need to show that this will be something that can allow skill transfer. So if someone learns how to do this knot tying using this augmented system, will they be able to actually tie a knot in real life? And so that's something that we're planning on doing as soon as we solve the rope simulation, doing a trial of in-person versus virtual learning, being able to compare that, maybe doing time and repetition, maybe an objective assessment of this skill. And then we're hoping that we'll be able to apply that to other skills such as suturing or central line placement. Thank you very much again.